If you can also relate to feeling demotivated, struggling to prioritise exercise, or seeing it as a burden, then stick around. What shifted in me to make me change my mind on exercise and put that way up the list of things I need to be doing. I hope by sharing this that you can find a little bit of comfort and reassurance. Hi, I'm Jo. Welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you are not. Today I'm going to be talking about exercise. And I'm going to be talking about it in a very broad term to start with, because exercise, well, we all know there's a whole industry regarding exercise. I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey, and I will go into more detail about the specific exercises that I do, because everyone has different needs when it comes to exercise. And this also includes things like your sex, age, your ability, and if you have any physical restrictions. There's exercise for fun, and then there's also exercise for your health and well-being, and that will increase your longevity. So let's look at my exercise journey and see if any of you lot can relate, because it's not all been smooth sailing, even though I love to exercise and I know it makes me feel good. That's not always been the case. I was an extremely active kid, to the point that my mum told me that she used to have to take me for walks to wear me out like a dog. Now, I should probably thank her though, because I think without realising, she probably just made me fitter and have more energy. Because that was part of my routine for such a young age, I think that just got installed into me for life. As soon as I could walk, I was kicking a ball around and playing with things, jumping all over stuff, climbing things. I was a little bit of a renegade. I have tried most sports because I love them, and naturally I think I am actually quite good at sport. And I don't want to be big-headed, because no one likes a big head, but also I'm being honest, there's plenty that I'm not good at, but sports, I was quite good at the sports. When I was young and going through school, the whole time, all I wanted to be was an athlete. And every sport that I tried, I was like, yes, this is the one. I think it started off with tennis, then hockey, football, volleyball, all of those sports I got to a really high standard, but just didn't quite cut it to make it. Plus, I was probably about 10 years too early to be a professional footballer. Anyway, I did succeed in my goal because I was a professional snowboarder for about 8 years. And also throughout my life, I've been well into bikes, surfing, skateboarding, and just anything that looks a little bit fun, a little bit scary, I want to give it a go. However, in the past few years, I have found myself being the most sedentary I've ever been. So what's gone wrong? I was in a place where exercise was just not part of my life. And this is despite me knowing how good exercise makes me feel, how good it is for me. I know this, but there is an absolute gigantic ocean between knowing and doing. I think this shift really happened when I was trying to get my tattoo career off the ground. I was putting all of my time and effort into that, because it does require a lot of time and effort. Anyone trying to set up your own business knows how much work that is. I was in my 30s, feeling the pressures of society, of being successful, earning money, trying to get a house and car and all that stuff. I was really just trying to push my career and my business. Because of this, I was sat down all day, every day, and that became my new norm. Around 8 years ago, I got together with my now wife, who is a professional dancer, so basically an athlete. It took me a long time to understand that the choices that I were making were affecting my mental and physical well-being. I, like most people, need to move. I do have a lot of compassion for myself, because I was trying to get my business established, and that requires a lot of time and effort. But then I did get just stuck in that cycle of sitting down and being still. I was also surrounded by tattoo artists who aren't really renowned for being the most active people. This is not a video telling you that you're lazy if you don't exercise, because I don't consider myself a lazy person, but I'm just saying it was very hard for me for a long period of time to get the motivation to move and exercise. I know how hard it is. There's not enough time. There's so many things that we need to do, especially if you've got a family and work and other commitments. It's really hard to prioritise yourself. Even when it comes to yourself, exercising, you kind of just want to relax and chill, not realising that exercise is actually a time for you. I do want to offer compassion and understanding because I know how crazy life is. We have so many commitments and pressures of spending time with our families and working all the time. It's hard to juggle all those things. And also being told what we should look like, what we should do, what we should be, what we should have. I think the first and major shift happened during COVID when we were forced not to be able to work. Me and my wife, we were stuck at home, and there was a whole shift with our schedules and just having loads of time to ourselves. I think a lot of people also reevaluated what was important in their lives. Marta was a great support and massive motivation because she cannot sit still at all, and she's always been active. So to see her keep going with that, I was like, oh, well, now I can join you with working out. So it really does make a difference with who you surround yourself with. At that time, it was only Marta, but she was moving, so that just gave me inspiration to move. If you're kind of around people that don't move, don't exercise, don't look after themselves, it's not really going to inspire you to do it either. So there's definitely something with who you are surrounded with. I also started to gain more information. So we were watching a bit more YouTube. I started following a few different people on Instagram who are well into fitness and stuff, which then changes all your algorithms. So I was seeing a lot of fitness stuff. And that's quite inspiring as well, because you think, okay, I might try that workout. I also just wanted to look a bit better. Things started getting a little bit jiggly, and I noticed things were maybe getting a little bit tighter, and yeah, I wasn't feeling particularly confident in my body, and I really wanted to change that. So during COVID, we had a new routine, and it was lovely, and I was working out, and I was starting to feel better and more energised, having a bit of structure. When it was lockdown and there's no structure, I need a plan. However, it did all end, and we did have to go back to work. And then I went straight back into my old ways of sitting down. But again, I want to be compassionate with myself because I'd basically had 2 years off or something. I needed to make up for lost earnings, lost time, and also a hell of a lot of people wanted to get tattooed. So I was just like booked up for months and months in advance. We wanted to save for a house. There was just so many things that just made me go back into that old routine of sitting down inside all day. Marta then decided to join a gym, and I was not up for it. I thought I can motivate myself to go for bike rides or do other things outside as opposed to go to the gym. I didn't want to go to the gym. But then she went for the first time and came back absolutely beaming and buzzing, and I was like, well, that looks nice. Maybe I would like to feel like that. She supported me in getting the confidence up to go, because again, I was feeling a little bit of resistance. I wasn't feeling like overly excited about going. I was nervous about going to the gym. She told me what to expect, what like the layout was, what equipment they had. Also, a big bonus from our gym is that the changing rooms aren't gendered. They have like separate blocks. So there's toilets and showers. They're just cubicles with doors on, and they're not gendered. Big win for me to go to the gym. So I went and I proved that I could do it, and that I wasn't completely useless, that my strength hadn't completely gone. It was still there a little bit, and I started to gain a little bit of confidence and just those feel-good hormones and getting a little bit more energy. I mean, the first few weeks was tough. There's no denying that, especially when it was leg day, and then it wasn't even that day, it was the whole week after that was hell. But eventually it did start getting easier, and then it did get to a point where I felt like I needed to go to the gym, and I really felt it when I didn't go. But there's definitely something in the pain. More on that later. When I felt resistance going to the gym, I really had to ask myself why, and be honest, because I think Marta did ask me, why don't you want to go? And my response was, I don't have time, I don't have the energy. If you actually look at what I spent most of my time doing, my free time, because obviously I was still working, but yeah, the thing on the app on your Instagram, it tells you how long you've been on there. Okay, scrap Instagram, and then you've got 4 hours free to be at the gym. So going beyond my initial thought of I don't have the time or energy to go to the gym, I looked a little bit more inside myself and realised there was a little bit more to it. I think the resistance that I felt was that I would look like I didn't know what I was doing, that there was going to be people that were fitter and stronger than me there, more attractive, that I would just look a bit scruffy and unprofessional, not knowing how machines work and what to do with the machines, ending up being a meme, you know, with one of those people who are doing the machine wrong and being all over the internet for the wrong reasons. The lack in body confidence, feeling unprepared, not knowing what to do, just not having been in so long. It's just terrifying and anxiety inducing. So we came up with a plan to try and conquer a few of those steps to make it a little bit easier. I got a couple of outfits that made me feel good rather than just an old t-shirt and some basketball shorts. I downloaded Natasha Ocean's app and it is incredible. I'll put her YouTube in the description box so you can check her out. Anyway, she is incredibly intelligent, tells you all the science behind why you should do certain things, and I fully trust her with a workout program. So she's got this 12-week program that I'm doing, and it's a build program. Each week, each day has a specific workout. It's got the names of what you should be doing, a little note, and then you can actually fill in what you do, and it has videos so you can see how it's supposed to be. And that is like, okay, good, I know what I should be doing, rather than Googling it and watching a video and blah, blah, blah. It's all there. Perfect. A plan. Love a plan. And then that was it. I felt like I did have enough confidence just to go and give it a try, and then the rest is history. So now going to the gym definitely gives me more energy. It's like my new cycle. I was in a bad cycle before, and now I'm in a good cycle. Plus, I like cycling. I also want to expand a little bit on my pain comment earlier. Dr. Anna Lemke talks about this in her book, Dopamine Nation. I'll put that in the description box too. Here's a section of that book I found particularly interesting. Pursuing pain is harder than pursuing pleasure. It goes against our innate reflex to avoid pain and pursue pleasure. It adds to our cognitive load. We have to remember that we will feel pleasure after pain, and we're remarkably amnestic about this sort of thing. I know I definitely am. I know I have to relearn the lessons of pain every morning as I force myself to get out of bed and go to the exercise. Yeah, damn right. She continues, pursuing pain instead of pleasure is also countercultural, going against all the feel-good messages that pervade so many aspects of modern life. Buddha taught finding the middle way between pain and pleasure, but even the middle way has been adulterated by the tyranny of convenience. Hence, we must seek out pain and invite it into our lives. I found a lot to be true in this, but particularly for me, when I ask myself, or when I've asked myself in the past when I was sedentary, what is going to bring me joy and make me happy, going to the gym was not high up my list because I knew how painful it would be. And I was just seeing the pain side of it. There are many things that we do that are painful during. However, afterwards will give us an intense amount of pleasure, and sometimes for long periods of time. Things like cold water therapy, learning new things, acupressure mats, therapy, tattoos perhaps. So maybe it's about asking ourselves not what will make me happy right now, but what will make me happy in the long run. I'm going to leave you with this phrase from the book. Pain is the price that we pay for pleasure. So is pleasure our reward for pain. See you next week.